I do believe in a higher power that sustains and directs all of life. I'd really like to know how to tell where I'm going. I get life is a mystery, but it really feels like I should at least know that. I don't have a clue about all this woo-woo. I take life as it comes, living day by day. Evolution this, evolution that. What is it supposed to mean? Evolution from what to what? Okay, so I get the nodes, but with my chart, how am I supposed to make the leap? This is either a crazy joke, some cosmic joke, or there's really a big secret to working it all out. If the purpose of life is evolution, how do we know where we are on our evolutionary path? That can be answered in infinite ways because there are infinite paths. Whether we're talking about the outer planets in Western astrology, which mark the generational collective consciousness we are here to evolve through and contribute to, are the Sidereal 120-year Mahadasha that marks the influences and duration of each planet at specific times in our birth chart. Today we're going to talk about the basic and universal evolutionary path, Great Mother Father God's nodal dance along the path of the ecliptic. Every 18 months, the type of dance they do changes how the collective planetary soul progresses through the cosmic layers of our unique evolution. We experience this as an oppositional yin-yang ego-soul energy pulling us along with them. On an ego level, it feels like pulling because as soon as we get used to Virgo North Node, Pisces South Node, we are thrust into the energy of Leo North Node, Aquarius South Node. However, simultaneously, during that transit, the soul was traversing the path the ego was preparing to enter in Leo Aquarius. And with a quick step ball change into Cancer Capricorn, the soul or sidereal astrology supports and prepares us for yet another opportunity to learn the dance of ego-soul alignment. What is this present evolutionary opportunity? Began in May 2017 in Cancer Leo Rahu North Node opposing K2 South Node energies in Capricorn Aquarius. In this full moon video, you will see how this total lunar eclipse, mega full moon release, cleanse, and purification follows up on the shadow issues that emerged in your moon sign during the total solar eclipse, August 21st. It is the most personal lunar eclipse reading you will receive without a personal reading, which looks at your unique natal chart, nodes, and the lunar energies that govern important aspects of your evolution. How have you intuitively and emotionally approached this eclipse season thus far? For instance, immediately after the total solar eclipse, Great Mother told me to begin this channel. Although I didn't feel that I was ready, intuitively, I knew it was now or never. I had no idea how to incorporate such a commitment into my busy life coaching schedule. However, not only have the readings saved me countless hours corresponding with clients between sessions, I now realize this current nodal axis is my coaching specialty, Mama and Daddy Drama Trauma. And this dance is an invitation to us all to heal it. Mama Drama Trauma and Daddy Drama Trauma are planetary disorders. It is when a parent or both project unhealed aspects of themselves onto the child or children, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the parent or parents are unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, my coaching work supports individuals to live in loving detachment. For more information on that, go to greatmotherspeaks.info. Click the picture of me wearing an afro and the words Mama Drama Trauma on the homepage, where you will find where to book life coaching and a personal Great Mother Speaks reading online. The Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck used for these readings was channeled several years ago while praying for a more soulful approach to support my clients. Based on Dorothy's orphan narrative in the Wizard of Oz movie, Great Mother teaches us through the signs and symbols of chakras, the lunar cycles, and our God-Goddess identity, how to dance along the yellow brick road we are being guided to walk this lifetime. It is a path that teaches us to honor personal truth and the truth in our healing or ego-soul aligning process to lovingly express our highest truth at all times. At this full moon, January 31st, 2018, Total Lunar Eclipse moment, this is what they have to say to you. Well, hello, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon sign people. Scorpio, your soul sidereal moon sign, and Sagittarius in your Western moon sign astrology. If you want a personal reading, we're going to talk about your actual house your moon sign is in and your actual north node and south node. But for this general reading, Great Mother sends you messages about what your collective celestial consciousness in your moon sign of Scorpio, that intuitive soul sidereal message download that your ego receives from its emotional response in Sagittarius is saying. And during this ecliptical dance between Great Mother, Father God, between the North Node and Leo in the Western and the South and Aquarius, and the soulful energy of Cancer and Rahu in the North and that Capricorn in the South, what's happening is for you, you're undergoing a transformation in your 3rd, 9th, and 10th houses. This transformation is yet another manifestation of how you are so deeply loved, never judged, condemned, or ever left alone as a divine child of the Great Mother, Father God. It's just another incarnation of that experience for you. And from that soulful Scorpion energy that you have in the sidereal, you know this better than most Sagittarius moon people. So you, during the solar eclipse, were in a place of full moon expression. This is a full moon card, the Gadeptus card, and solar eclipses happen during the new moon. So we have that juxtaposition again, don't we, between Great Mother, Great Father energy. During that time, you were totally relating to the solar energy, which was very strong. It was in Leo in both the Western and in the sidereal. We see here with this sun sign, it is the full moon 3rd eye card, and this card is all about trusting beyond a shadow of any doubt what your intuition is saying to you. So on an intuitional level, it was in Leo, and on an emotional level, it was in Leo. This is your 9th, 10th house energies. And the 10th house, that Scorpio Leo energy, was all about Maha, the nakshatra Maha. This sun was so powerful being in both Leo, because Leo is ruled by the sun. In both the Western and in the Vedic astrology, it was the power of 100 suns. So the power of your intuition was so strong, so precise, so adept at pulling understanding of divergent elements together that you were charged by it. You were charged by it. Even though that sun And this is what happens during total solar eclipses. Even though that sun was totally eclipsed by Great Mother, which is what solar eclipses are, Great Mother eclipses that sun to bring out the shadows, to show us the shadows. And you saw those shadows. You saw what those shadows were in your life. And so that's how you approach that total solar eclipse. Eye wide open. And so what were those shadows? Well, this card is all about the Navajo goddess Gildeptis, who brings together all the elements: air, water, earth. And she brings together the elements in order for us to synthesize with the seasons. And Great Mother speaks to us through the seasons of the lunar cycles. And so when we come to full moon expression, which is what a total lunar eclipse is, there's full illumination, and the lunar eclipse is offering an opportunity for cleanse and for purification. And so when Gildeptis appears, there was a coming together. Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is based on the 49 scenes of the Wizard of Oz, and Dorothy symbolizes the orphan, the child of Mama Drama Trauma. And in this card, she is actually being told by Glinda the Good Witch, who symbolizes Great Mother, that all she has to do is click her heels 3 times to return home. And she's looking in dismay like, what? Yeah. That's how you were approaching that. And so what's so important about that? Well, the lunar cycle starts from the new moon, of course. And so the new moon is the beginning. I think that sign is too big. I need to get a smaller sign for us to talk about this. But you know, that new moon is the beginning. It's the beginning, and I'm doing it over the candles as well. And so we don't want to do that. Oh, I see one over here. Let me go ahead and get my sign. But the new moon, that dark moon, is the beginning of the cycle. And at that beginning of the cycle, during that total solar eclipse, which started the eclipse season, I'm not going to go into detail about the eclipse season because I've already done it in the prior video, where you can find the link below. Lunar Totality, that's the name of the video, because this is a total lunar eclipse, and follow up to that and why it's so important, what this symbolism is about, and how it is affecting the collective consciousness and why. Okay, so it goes all into that. It's really important for you to understand, because you're starting off with this full moon, which really symbolizes the total lunar eclipse, but it's in the solar eclipse position. Okay, so we want to be clear. Now, the new moon is the beginning, making plans. Okay, this is when we are getting our seeds together to plant. Okay, and so that's that new moon energy. And that is what came up and blocked out that powerful sun. Great Mother came up in August, the eclipse that the world stopped to watch, and she said, oh, this is great. Okay, everybody's ready to move forward with this Leo North Node energy in the West, and everybody's ready to express this higher Leo energy. That's wonderful. But what about this shadow over here? And the shadow was the moon in Cancer Leo. A lot of Leo energy, but that Cancer in the Sidereal was a very low energy Cancer in that new moon. Okay, in that new moon, it was a very low energy Cancer. And so what is the new moon? Beginning, making plans, rebirth. And at that time, that was the beginning of the cycle where we now find ourselves in the full moon. And so that's why we're going back to see the maturation of the ego soul energy since that time, as eclipses deal with our ego soul evolution and development. So that's where you were. You were at a place of great clarity. You were at a place of really re-evaluating what you needed to do in order to share your gifts with the world. in order to be able to express your highest potential. Again, Glinda the Good Witch was telling Dorothy, all you have to do is click your heels 3 times. And you were recognizing that. You were inventorying the moment, in other words, and recognizing that there was a choice that needed to be made in terms of how you were going to deal with the darkness and the light of your life. Because you would think Dorothy would have been ecstatic when she told her all she had to do was click her heels 3 times. But if you can see the expression on her face, there's a bit of dismay there. It's about accepting your soul contract unconditionally in terms of your 10th house energy. That 10th house energy, that energy that has to do with wish fulfillment of why the soul came here. Why did the soul incarnate? It had a desire. It has a purpose. And that 10th house in Leo for you was in the nakshatra of Maha, a very evolved Leo energy, very powerful, the power of 100 suns. Because the sun was also in Leo in the Western. And so there was a great soul, ego soul alignment for you there. But it was a realization too that I'm going to have to deal with some things I haven't dealt with. And that was the realization for Dorothy. When I go home, I'm still going to have the same issues. And so I'm going to have to change what? My perspective. My perspective is going to have to shift real quick as well. And that's why there were 3 clicks of the heel: body, mind, soul, body, mind, spirit. So here, the transformative opportunity for this total lunar eclipse for you is 3rd house energy. And that has to do with communication. That has to do with how you choose to see and to express yourself. It's your choice. This is the heart chakra waning gibbous moon card, Sheila Nagig. The transformative opportunity is to be open to what it is that needs to be faced. It is to trust that you are capable, but you're also very much equipped to face whatever it is that needs to be faced. Like Dorothy had to face going back home and the possibility of Miss Gulch standing right there wanting to take Toto again. But we have to face these things, especially in light of the tremendous guidance that we've received along our journey. And you started this ecliptical journey with that great insight, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. That was in your 9th house in Leo in the Western, which has to do with you emotionally also were at a place. That's why we know there was ego soul alignment. Your 9th house, emotionally, you were in a place of spiritual awareness, knowing that the nature of your life is as a neutral spirit having a human experience, knowing that the most important wish fulfillment that you have requires a very impersonal approach to things and just going through and doing what needs to be done. And so while solar eclipses show us the shadows, and the shadow of this, even with this powerful sun, Great Mother eclipse, it was that Cancer Leo moon with a very egoic Leo moon, Cancer in the nakshatra of Ashlesha, which is the nakshatra for mama drama trauma, the condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child or children, causing emotional and or physical trauma. That's what Dorothy had experienced with Miss Gulch. And so this great sun that you started out with, this ego soul alignment, was eclipsed by that Cancer Leo moon and that nakshatra, which is a low vibration of Cancer, home, mother, domestic energy. So maybe at that time, if you think back to it, just reflect on where you were. It's one of those great where were you moments, because it was the total solar eclipse across coast to coast the United States, the epicenter of the military financial complex of the planet. Where were you emotionally? Okay, so we can talk about the mechanics of where were you watching it, but the internal mechanics, where were you, is what we're talking about. Were you in a place where that light was eclipsed by mama drama trauma, by the prospect of you having to deal with that, by there being some acknowledgement that that was occurring in your life in ways that you had not acknowledged before, perhaps through some addiction, either that you yourself have or that you're experiencing with someone else in a relationship, perhaps because this is 10th and 9th house energy, maybe at work, maybe as you are trying to become more spiritual. There is often a resistance with that. Maybe if it was internal resistance, as this card indicates, there was probably some addiction that you were experiencing, be it with opiates, be it with food, be it with sex. We have this deep Scorpio energy here, be it with being overly addicted to spiritual things and not being grounded on the earth, but you having an experience of shock when you realize that you could be released from that. And that coming as a shock for you because the immature energy of Cancer with mama drama trauma is about attachment, being attached to drama, not wanting to let it go even when you can go home, not wanting to let it go even though, you know, you have a conditional love type of situation with this Cancer. This Cancer is not the generous Cancer. It's the Cancer that says, I'll love you if. It is a hypnotic energy that is always into some type of emotional chaos. It is the poster child of mama drama trauma. The moon that eclipsed that very bright sun, Ashlesha. It doesn't heal from it very well. And so that's what Great Mother wanted us to see planetarily, that yes, you're ready to go forward with this great ego soul alignment, this powerful Leo energy that's in the nakshatra of Maha, which is a very paternalistic Leo. It's an evolved Leo energy. It's not self-centered. It cares. It's family oriented. Yes, that sun is shining, but whoo, what about this over here? What about this immature, loving energy that needs to be dealt with? What about this planetary disorder? This taboo that y'all don't want to talk about, that's causing and wreaking havoc on the planet, that is now requiring governments to care for children because they can't be cared for at home. The mother is not being honored by more than anyone else, the mother herself. And so the healing of Ashlesha requires time. And the antidote is detachment, which is what I support individuals to do in my practice, is to lovingly detach from a mama or a daddy drama trauma situation in which they are unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal. It's a cycle. We're conditioned through a generational pathology to behave in unloving ways. Why do you think people don't want to evolve? Why do you think people don't want to talk about this self? Why do you think there isn't a language to deal with our intuition? Because we're sick. We haven't been taught that we're loved, that we're divine beings. That's not how we're treated. That's not how we're raised, because that's not how we were raised, and that's not how we raise our children. There's a sickness that Great Mother, Father God want us to understand. And so this lunar eclipse and this eclipse season with this Cancer North Node in the Sidereal, from your Scorpio in the Sidereal, that's 9th house, and from your Sagittarius in the Western Leo North Node, it's 9th house energy. This is about your soul evolution, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. This is about going from Ashlesha, who needs to learn loving detachment, to accept others as they are, to accept that we haven't been taught, to accept that we're sick, to accept other people might want to hold me back, to accept that I might be going back to a situation that is not the best for me, to accept that, boy, I'm going to have to be open to something even though I'm so scared. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the three ask Oz their wishes and he tells them to receive them, they will have to return the broom. And the lion promptly jumps out of the window right from the castle. This is the heart chakra waning gibbous moon card. It comes right after the full moon. So Great Mother is saying the transformational opportunity for you will probably be felt following this full moon during the gibbous moon period. The heart is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And this is saying that despite what may be a fearful thing to do for you right now in terms of looking at this sun that is going to be blotting out the brightness of the sun in Capricorn Aquarius during this lunar eclipse, that is going to be purging the shadows that came up with this mama drama trauma, this not wanting to deal with the difficult situation, this ego soul alignment that's been eclipsed by these shadowy energies of conditional love and pathologies that, you know, you thought had been long dealt with. You know, emotional chaos and entanglements with situations and just insisting on your way or someone insisting on their way. Those shadows that came up since that time, the cycle has moved around. And now it's in the full moon of Capricorn Aquarius Sun in your third house. So this is about communicating your desires. This is about communicating how you truly want to express yourself. And that sun purging those shadows by you being open despite your fear, like the lion. And Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook that ninth house power that you have with that lunar energy in Cancer and Leo. Is now in a more evolved Cancer nakshatra of Pusha. Again, look at lunar totality to understand more about Pusha. But it's a more evolved Cancer energy. It's a nurturing, dependable, caregiving Cancer energy in the full moon light of ripeness, illumination. You've come through this cycle. And so what happened after those shadows came up of perhaps mama drama trauma, of perhaps conditional love, of emotional entanglements that weren't allowing you to move forward? Well, the crescent moon brought up the hurricanes planetarily. It brought up the natural disasters right after that in September. It brought up sexual abuse that is still dogging the country. It brought up child neglect because of opiate addictions that we're still dealing with. The government is having to raise our children now because what? The home, the full light of that Capricorn Aquarius responsibilities to others is needing to be looked at, is needing to be cleansed, is needing to be purged. And so what kind of responsibilities to others have you made that need to be cleansed because they are not allowing you to express the law of ego form and manifestation, the law of destiny and free will, excuse me. They're very similar. But this one is androgyne, and this one is the double yang yin card. Can you see that? It's the double yang yin card. And so we have the gender equality sign there. Even though it's double yang has to do with the physical, materialization, has to do with action. Acting on what you know is your unique soul expression, androgyne. The law of destiny and free will is saying that Great Mother does not want you to overlook that it is time to release. It is time to let go. It is time to forgive anything in your life, any person, any situation in your life that shift and focus in order to return to yourself. Home, where's true home? True home is our soul. In order to return home, Miss Gulch could be waiting at the door, but who cares whether she's waiting at the door? If I am living within the law of destiny and free will, it is our free will choice. And it is your choice, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. And the highest choice you can make is always from your fifth chakra, which is in the center of this card. This is a law card. And this is the fifth chakra law card of release and let go. It's double yang because it is expressing the higher will of the intuition. Okay, so whether you are a writer, a singer, a dancer, whether you are someone who is very much a speaker, a poet, whether you are needing to just basically express your spirituality to someone in ways that you perhaps have not done in the past and have felt, you know, what is the point? this full moon of ripeness and of illumination is inviting you to accept its support in releasing anything that does not support you in expressing your true self, your true androgyne nature. Everything, that's androgyne, the yin and the yang primal energies that make up all of us. So this is what Great Mother is saying. This total lunar eclipse is offering you, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people, as an opportunity to open your heart to the energies that are present and supportive for you to honor your divinity. The Shravana that the Capricorn sun and the Sidereal is in is a nakshatra that loves to listen. It loves to learn. And so listen and learn from your intuition. It wants to continue the journey that it started during the solar eclipse. And you will receive the download and the support of that during the lunar eclipse. And this is following it during the waning gibbous moon right after. You're going to feel it right after. As you work with these energies, you will definitely feel it. And we know that because it's in your third house, which is about communication. That's ego soul communication, the heart, the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And the cycle, the phase that comes right after the waning gibbous is the third quarter moon. And so she doesn't want you to overlook that as the cycle progresses after this, which is about 3 days after the full moon, okay, 2.5, 3 days, and then after that, another week. After this, January 31st, going into the first week of February, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people, she doesn't want you to overlook your spiritual expression through your ninth house in Cancer and Leo for that moon that is a more mature Cancer energy, that's a more loving, that's a more nurturing, and it looks like of yourself. Now, this is the opportunity that you have energetically to work with what's available for you celestially to evolve. Eclipses are all about the planetary soul, and the challenges that you might have doing that are shadow issues. And so let's look at the shadow that may be causing a rift here with the realization of these activated energies in your life. The Birth Mother card is telling us that you may be feeling like there's no point. You know, no one's going to listen to you. No one cares. Yeah, you're on the journey and you know really what's going on, but you know, next, you know, let's go on. Or you are in the midst of trying to have understanding from others, but they're not listening. This is the card when Dorothy returns home from Mrs. Gulch's first threat to her in Toto and tries to tell Aunt Em and Uncle Henry about it. And they're just busy getting ready for market. They have other things going on. It's nothing personal. Again, that impersonal nature of the ninth house, Great Mother does not want you to overlook. You are a spirit here having a human experience. And that's what soulmates do. They're here to remind us of that. It isn't anything personal. It isn't anything egoic. It's totally soul stuff going down. Totally soul stuff going down. We are dearly loved. When we feel bad, when we feel sad about something, we don't want to negate the feeling and pretend that that's not there. But what we do want to do is say, this is making me feel ungrounded. And crescent moon, this is making me not want to plant new seed. This is making me not want to tell anybody anything because I don't feel safe. That's what we want to do. That's what's useful. That's what's evolutionary. That's what's insightful. This is making me feel this way. My intuition is telling me maybe I need to just kind of have a broader perspective of this situation and say, maybe their unique cosmic calculus is saying that they need to work out financial issues this life and learn how to, you know, balance their finances better. And that includes taking care of me as an orphan. Maybe that's what's more important to them in this moment. Soul perspective. That's in the shadow. What Great Mother is saying is your dance with the shadow is that you are taking responsibility for the insights that you have. Just because you don't feel safe or just because you don't feel that others are listening doesn't mean that you are not engaging yourself in the dance of life. You are following your own yellow brick road. You're doing it. You're trusting your gut. This is the gut chakra waxing gibbous moon card. So the waning gibbous moon card, excuse me. So you have two waning gibbous moon cards here. And so this is a huge indication that for you, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people, a lot of this is going to occur downloads following the eclipse. The download about opening up to greater energies to support your ego soul alignment, the purging of things that do not support your expression, and also in terms of trusting your gut, your instinctual emotional responses to what's going on. This is how you're dancing with the shadow. And during that waning gibbous moon period as well, the openness is going to have a lot to do with you starting to actually feel like you are on a new path, that you are on a new road, to actually feel in your body, in your ego body, that you are aligning with your higher self, with your intuition. If you notice in this card, the gut chakra card, there is an antenna here. And this antenna actually connects to the third eye. Okay? And so the intuition is the higher knowing. And there's an antenna that goes down to the gut chakra, which is the physical body knowing. The physical body knowing is a lower knowing. It is not a judgment. It is a frequency and energetic assessment. It's a more gross, dense vibration. It can pick up a lot of things. It can pick up a lot of dirt. It can pick up a lot of shadow information and misinterpret it as attack as opposed to love, as opposed to constantly being in awareness and constantly shifting what we perceive to be shadows. That's why it's a denser energy, not because it's bad, not because it's, judged as anything terrible. If it was, we wouldn't have an ego, would we? But that's what it is, and that's why it has an antenna to our third eye. The dance is going to feel much more aligned following the full moon. The full moon is a total lunar eclipse, and following that, there'll be a lot more openness for you, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. I'm excited for you. What needs to be released, or the shadow work that Great Mother is proposing to you, is Coventina, the goddess of the baths of Britain. Coventina is all about purification. This is yet another gibbous moon, but this is the waxing gibbous moon. So coming up right before the full moon. If you're watching this right before the full moon, this is before this cleansing return of that enthusiastic ego soul aligned energy in August that was shadowed by these doubts and conditional love. This is coming back up to revisit that in the waxing gibbous moon, that is saying that your ego soul alignment, that heart chakra, is being purified. And so that's why by the time the full moon comes, that synthesis returns. This is so exciting, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. This is the scene in the movie, if you can see it, where that little sign is above Oz's castle that says wash and brush up. Remember, before they are ushered before Oz, they are sent to the wash and brush up to be cleaned up, to be purified. Dorothy enters as a little girl with pigtails, and she emerges from the wash and brush up as a young lady with curled ringlets. This is a purification process that is going to support your opening up after. Notice that these are two different gibbous moons. This is the gibbous moon that waxes up to the moon. This is the gibbous moon that wanes from the full moon. And so going into it, you are being purified. And coming out of it, you are much more open. After they're purified, they are told to bring him back the broom. And so there you have that process for you, and your shadow work leading up to the lunar eclipse is purification. Now, what is purification for you? Great Mother is saying that for you is embodying the quality of Pele, the Mayan goddess of the volcanoes, awakening, looking very clearly at what is right in front of you. What is right in front of you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, that needs to be cleansed, released from your life in order for you to fully express your true identity according to Great Father's law of destiny and free will? Remember, Great Father is shining brightly during a total lunar eclipse, the purifying volcanic purge eclipse. Lunar eclipses are volcanic purges. Volcanic. Let me get my words together. I'm so excited for you. Pele, awakening. What's in front of you that needs to be cleansed so that you can express yourself fully? What in front of you is asking you who you are? This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy arrives in Munchkin Land and Glinda the Good Witch, who symbolizes Great Mother, appears in front of her and asks her who she is. The Munchkins want to know, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Who are you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people? What is your gut telling you on your journey thus far? The visceral response, the emotional response that you're having with this Sagittarius Moon in your 9th house. How are you emotionally responding to these downloads that you're receiving from your soul? Great Mother and Great Father God have provided you with a 6 months period of time in which to evaluate that for yourself so that you can be clear and reapproach the situation with a more mature energy in releasing any mama drama trauma issues that have come since then. Okay, so anything that has happened to you or that you've experienced since that new moon period until now, have you been scammed? Have you cheated someone else? Have you in any way experienced lack or believed in lack? Have you in any way been neglected or neglected someone else who needs attention, such as a child? This is what Great Mother, Father God are saying are harmonious energies that are available for us to release anything, but we can't do it if we do not look at it and awaken to what's right in front of us. Are there any addictions in your life? They're saying, hey, this energy in this Capricorn Aquarius full moon is going to help you release it. To which Dorothy said, well, I'm not a witch at all. I'm Dorothy from Kansas. And that's fine. If you don't have any addictions, you don't know what I'm talking about, this mama drama trauma, you don't know nobody who got it, you ain't got nothing to do with none of these scams, and the hurricanes didn't affect you, and none of all this stuff going on in the world, you don't know nothing about it, that's great. Great Mother got a journey she gonna send you on. That's okay. That's fine. We are all on it. We're all on it, whether we awaken to it or not. But we all do eventually, in what? Our own time. Our own time. Our own time. But I know Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people know just what I'm talking about. Great Mother says the final outcome is emancipation. I knew it. I knew you knew exactly what I was talking about. You down. You down. You know it. Emancipation, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. Need I say more? You're doing the energy work. Hey, you started out doing it. You started out from the get doing it. In your 9th and 10th houses. Houses 7 and above, 7 to 12 are houses of evolution. Houses 1 through 6 are houses of establishing identity. in relationship. So you 9th and 10th house with this. The lunar opportunity is a 3rd house because you do have to ground, your intuitive ego soul alignment in this world in meaningful ways. And that's why that 9th house in this moon is helping you. That's why Great Mother's helping you. And look, you right there with it. This is so exciting. Emancipation. This is the final scene of the movie, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. This is when she gets up from the bed, the farmhouse. She's back home. She's holding Toto, who symbolizes her intuition. And she says what? There is no place like home. Full circle. Full circle, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. You're free. Working with the supportive energies of this total lunar eclipse 2018, January, you will be free from whatever immature, conditional, pathological, emotionally self-limiting, growth-resistant energies to your self-expression. You'll be freed from them. Allow yourself to go through the purification. And if you're watching this after the total lunar eclipse or after this waxing gibbous moon phase, take it into the next waxing gibbous moon phase. We have a partial solar eclipse for our new moon reading in February. So these energies are coming around very cyclically for the next 12 months. Remember, an eclipse season is 18 months and we've only just begun, a third way through, and this is all you, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking as you see fit. But above all, and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. As always, double check your moon sign at the links below, because in case it is the same in your sidereal as it is in your western, which happens 1/5 of the time, then you will also want to listen to your celestial collective consciousness sign before this.